TV.com. And today we're catching up with one of my favorites, Julian Rankin. He is the executive director for the Walter Anderson Museum of Art there in Ocean Springs. And they got lots of good things going on. Hey, Julian.
Hey, how are you doing?
I think it's been way too long, buddy, since we have caught up with all the good stuff you guys have going on there in Ocean Springs at the museum. So how you been?
We've been great, and it has been too long. And, we're still here rocking and rolling, new exhibitions, always things changing, campus expansion going on, a lot of fun stuff. And, of course, the coast is just a great escape anytime you can get down here. So we're really enjoying this warmer weather for a bit and welcoming everybody who's coming to see us.
Well, I take that personally because it's not warmer here, at least in central Mississippi. I mean, maybe a tad bit warmer than what it's been in the last couple of months, but you bring up a good point. We've got spring break on the horizon. Summer's just around the corner, and so folks will be looking at getting out and traveling and maybe visiting something new. And if they've never been to the Walter Anderson Museum of Art there in Ocean Springs, Julian, how do you describe it? Because it's in a museum, it's an art before you even get into the museum. But how do you sort of describe it?
Well, Walter Anderson and the museum are synonymous with the Gulf Coast. And so we like to consider our museum a bit of a jewel box. It's this wonderful glass facade. You walk in, you see thousands of square feet of Anderson murals and watercolors and furniture and all the things he made. And the cool thing about it for us is always that he focused on Mississippi, his coastal landscape, but really just Mississippi and the South. And he found a majesty and beauty in it that not everyone did. So we really, are treasuring that legacy. And then in our educational programs, all of our 21st century work, we're really trying to go outside the box, cross-sector, STEM, going out into nature, really doing things beyond the walls. And we're really enjoying it. We're having a lot of fun.
I saw where your educational series, man, that looks like a lot of fun, and it's free. So talk about what you've got going on right now. I saw, I'm going to mispronounce it, what kind of tree is it?
Well, I'm not sure which one you're speaking of. There's a lot of things that we have trouble pronouncing. We're in an amalgamation of French and otherwise. But I will tell you about the exhibitions we have.
Yes.
And both of these are really interesting. And so one of them is called Return to Old Fields. Old Fields was the antebellum home that Anderson lived at and worked in the 1940s, and it's where he made his famous block print. So many people don't know that there's this old historic home where Anderson lived and worked, and it's now being preserved and restored here for Mississippi for the future. So it's an architectural story. It's a story of Anderson's creative output. And then we actually have another exhibition up of Andrew Bucci, who is the late Andrew Bucci, another legendary Mississippi artist from Vicksburg. And so people can see his abstract color and shapes and forms playing against Walter Anderson. So there's just a few of the art things we have going on. And our campus is growing. There's great public art outside. And like I said, even if it is raining, you can always get inside. But most times down here, I think the weather just likes the coast a little better sometimes. I hate to say it, but that's just the world we live in. It's a Walter Anderson world.
Well, it gives us an escape, right? If it's rainy and dreary up this way, then we can just escape to the Mississippi Gulf Coast. And really, we don't need a weather reason. There's always something fun down there. But the tree, I'm going to spell it for you, KAPOK trees. And it was one of your children's educational things. Y'all did a wonderful creativity that's there on your Facebook page if folks want to go and see it. And I love the idea of bringing the kids into the museum and giving them, I guess, specific tasks to do to sort of learn about art. I have one that's very interested in art. So I'm always looking for those type of opportunities for kiddos.
Yeah, that's a program we have called Words and Wonder. So it's free for students and young people every third Friday, kind of a pre-K story time and art making. These kind of free educational early childhood things are so important, and we always try to interface with science or nature or STEM in some fashion. So we're giving students some applied skills that hopefully they'll take into their own futures. But it really is, like I said, the other thing I'll mention, if no one does anything else, while you're planning your visit to the museum, even if you can't get down here soon, I would encourage everyone to go on our website. We're doing the second year of our one-of-a-kind Walter Anderson golf cart raffle. So Anderson's murals are actually wrapped around this custom-built golf cart, and it's a raffle ticket giveaway for Mardi Gras Day. So there's a couple weeks left. So if anyone is just interested in that, there's a really funny video we did as a staff, and I would encourage people to check that out. Even if you don't buy tickets, you won't want to miss the Coastal Stag Walter Anderson golf cart.
Is there anything special going on at the museum for Mardi Gras, right? That's something special there on the Gulf Coast that the further north you get here in the state, we kind of have an idea of it, but, y'all really embrace all the culture that comes with that? Or is it kind of just the entire community there in Ocean Springs and beyond is just sort of in festive mode right now?
Yeah, I think it's all a wash. You can't separate where Mardi Gras begins and ends, whether it's the museum or Mobile and New Orleans and all the Mississippi coastal towns in between. So we have a parade this weekend. There's parades every day. It feels like king cakes all around. We actually have one of our board of trustees members, Robert St. John. He just tasted 36 or 32 king cakes, I think, the other week. So we're all really getting into the spirit down here. And Anderson's from New Orleans, so it's a legacy that we're familiar with.
What a tough job to have, right? To taste all of those king cakes. I know you lived in Central Mississippi for a while here at the Museum of Art. We didn't live there. You worked there. You lived here.
I almost lived there.
You felt like it. And so traveling, to the Mississippi Gulf Coast to be the executive director there at the Walter Anderson Museum of Art. How is Mississippi art sort of the same but yet different in their different locations?
Yeah, what I would say is it's been really wonderful to be down here. And, I grew up in Oxford, lived in Jackson, obviously have friends and colleagues all over the state. And we need every region of the state to be doing exceptional, cool things. And that's what we have in Mississippi. Whether that's museums or businesses or communities, we all thrive when we're taking care of our own backyards, but also reaching out and collaborating. And so I think us down here is the perfect counterpoint to all the other wonderful museums and attractions in Mississippi. And I think we're all looking ahead to this year and the future in a really positive light. A lot to look forward to, a lot to be proud about. All goes back to the Mississippi creativity that we love.
If folks want to learn more about the museum, Julian, but also the interesting man that was Walter Anderson, right? Because he was kind of one that kept to himself. I think a lot of people use the term hermit to sort of describe him, which it would be interesting to know how he would have described himself. Probably introvert. I don't know, recluse. Is there a way to sort of get the full story?
Well, certainly WalterAndersonMuseum.org. That's our website. All you need to know there. And I'll give a plug for the documentary on MPB online. You can find the wonderful Emmy Award-winning documentary that Anthony Thaxton and Robert St. John produced last year. So I would say if you're trying to rediscover Anderson, check that documentary out, and then we'll be here waiting for you when you're ready to see the beautiful art and all that we have to offer.
What's your hours of operation? Are y'all open 7 days a week, or when are you open?
We are. We're 7 days a week. We're Monday to Saturday, 11 to 5, and then 1 to 5 on Sundays. So anytime you're down here, we will be open. That's just what we've learned is people never get tired of coming in. So we just decided to open every day.
Well, how do we find you?
Yep, right downtown, Washington Avenue, the main artery of Ocean Springs. If you just continue like you're going to the beach, you can't miss the museum.
All righty. Well, Julian, let's not wait so long before we catch up again. And you guys keep going, doing all the good down there.
You got it. Thank y'all so much.
All righty. Pretty cool. And Rhino, you mentioned that they also offer free entrance for military service members, which is always a good thing. It never hurts to ask. And this is, again, something that's on my bucket list of things to see. But every time I talk to Julian or I see the things that are going on or see it from the outside, it looks like one of those buildings that it is art before you ever even walk into the actual facility, and it creates a beautiful landscape and something, even if it's not a full day sort of thing that you do, it'd be a little side thing to go see or tack it on to something. I feel like we all should at least go once.